Your boy is on a hike. It's been a long time since I've been on a hike before. Feels good to get out into nature. Just be around just this motherfucking peace, man. Quiet. Look at this. It feels good to get away from all the noise, man. The thing is, dude, like I feel like I'm so sensitive to energy, and I'm so sensitive to information. I just get like overloaded so fucking easily, man. I get like overstimulated and overwhelmed very easily. I don't like a lot of noise. I'll tell you what, a pet peeve that I learned this year about myself. I cannot stand loud, dumb people. Sorry if you're loud and hilarious and all this kind of shit, but dude, retards, I can't fucking stand that. Like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I know I'm loud, man. And I know I'm a fucking retard as well. I just don't like when other people I just don't like other people like that. But yeah, man. Yeah, man. I'll tell you what, dude, like I don't consider myself like, actually no. Fuck that. I'm owning myself, dude. I'm fucking smart. I'm a smart fucking guy, dude. I'm fucking intelligent. I'm wise. I'm a fucking genius in certain areas. And I wasn't always like this. I think I became this way just through experience and through reading books and seminars and all that kind of shit. I've learned so much. And now it's like when I interact with someone, I'm like, dude, I became smart to my own detriment, man. Like, it definitely feels like it has isolated me because it has made me it's made it harder for me to relate with people. And the vast like 99% of people don't work on themselves. They don't invest in themselves. And we don't have too much in common. So like I have to spend a lot of time trying to protect myself, trying to protect my energy, doing my best to just get a grip on shit, man, just keep my mind at peace, bro. It's like a full-time job just trying to keep peace in my own head, keep peace in my body. I need to go on more hikes, bro. I have a friend, she likes to go on morning hikes, and she always would feel good when she was like texting me afterwards and sending me videos of her hike. And I'd always say, I'm thinking about, getting into hiking as well, but I'd never do it. I don't even remember the last time I went on a hike, bro. I would love to make this a consistent thing. Will I make it a consistent thing? I don't know, dude. All I have is today. The past and the future do not exist. All that exists is today. And not even just that, dude. All that exists really is right now. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Alright. Let's see. shall we enjoy a moment of peace together? Let's take a couple deep breaths, dude. You know, like the breath always brings us back home. Let's take a couple breaths together. I spent so much time in fight or flight in my life. Just feeling anxious, feeling not worthy of love, feeling that I have to perform for love, feeling that love is conditional, and being reliant on external forces for love. And what I'm doing my best to do is just get to the point where I just fucking love myself unconditionally. And I love myself more than I ever have before. I still have these like habits of just years upon years that has got me validation from others, that I still run in social situations. You know, it's tough, man. I feel like I love my family to death. At the same time, I feel like they limit me a lot, and I don't blame them, man. Like, where my parents come from, their parents, you know, how they raised them. Like, my parents really did do their best, bro. And it can be tough to remember that when you feel like you're being put down, when you feel like they're withholding their love from you or picking on you because you're not being what they want you to be and behaving how they want you to behave. And I think that's where a lot of my like inner turmoil comes from, man, is just not feeling the sense of acceptance from them niggas, man. Them wanting me to be someone else. You know how confusing it is when I go out into the world and there's motherfuckers who just absolutely love me. They absolutely adore me. They can see that I have a big ass bright future ahead of me. They want to contribute to that. And then just for my niggas to like not even be able to see that. It hurts, man. You know, passive aggressive remarks, putting me down. It's hard, man. It's rough. But what I think is, man, I think my parents just want love too, and I don't really know how to give it to them. I don't even think they know how to receive it. I know they love me, man. You know, my mom, for a long time, for years, I'm 28 right now, for many years, like 7, 8 years, something like that, she's been telling me to have a kid. It's fucking weird. What the fuck do I want to have a kid for? She's like, no, you know, someone you can love. And I'm just like, what are you talking about, bro? Do you see how you treat me? You don't even like me. I know you love me, but you don't even like me. So yeah, man, I do feel lonely. You know, there are many times where I'll just be going through my life and I just want to call somebody. And I don't know who to call. I don't know who to call. I just want a friend, bro. I just want a friend. And I know I got plenty, man. I know I got my international niggas, man. I love them niggas to death. I don't know, man. I just make up excuses in my head. I just think like, oh man, them niggas is busy. They're not gonna just want to have a conversation. They're gonna wonder what the purpose is behind the conversation. Even though right now, logically, I know that they'll be there for me. But like for me as well, man, it's hard for me to receive love. It's difficult, bro. Cause there's still that part of me that just feels like I didn't deserve it. Like I didn't earn it. And I feel like if I didn't earn it, then what's the I guess I don't know, maybe I feel like it's worthless. And I think that comes from just conditioning of feeling like love is conditional. That I have to do something or be something in order to receive love, man. To be deserving of it. Look at that little rabbit. So I spent a lot of time with myself, learning to be my own best friend. And I know that, I don't know, I think it depends on who the person who listens to that, you know, you can say that it can be depressing. But I feel like it serves a purpose, you know. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's important for you to have a great relationship with yourself and to protect yourself. But, you know, it can be tough, man. There's a huge difference between logic and emotion. And it's completely different to know something logically and to experience something emotionally. I've had such a tough experience with my relationship with my mom, man, where I'm like, part of me doesn't even want to have kids just out of spite. I think I heard her say one time when I was growing up, I think I heard her say, one day you're gonna have a child and they're gonna do to you what you do to me. Almost like a payback. know I radiate so much positive energy and so much love and so much charisma, and it's a mask. It's a mask that protects me. It's a mask that I know I can rely on to be able to win the love of other people without getting too close to them or allowing them too close to me, to put myself in a position of being hurt. It's so crazy that the guy who is the relationship guy, I built a business about relationships years ago. That was my main thing, about how to connect with people and all that kind of stuff. I don't even know what it's like to be in love. Never had a girlfriend. It's not something that I'm like yearning for. I'm yearning for love. Yeah, I guess so, I am. But I'm not like desperate where I'll just take it from anybody who's willing to give it to me. It's hard to find people who are compatible. Where do you even find them? How do you go about that? The only way that I can think is through marketing. I gotta market myself. I gotta be who it is that I am. And I just gotta allow the people who are for me to find me. And just hope that they have just having trust that it'll come to me in due time. With this journey that I'm on, man, it requires so much fucking trust and faith in like a higher being, universe, source, God. We all talk about the same thing in different ways. We're all just trying to make sense of this whole thing, man. But not just that, like with kids, it's not even just out of spite. It's just like, I just feel like a child is just not a good decision for me. I'm way too selfish to have a child. I'm way too selfish. There's no way. I have my first vasectomy appointment scheduled for in 2 days. I'm going through Planned Parenthood. And the way they do it is like they do a consultation, and then 30 days later they have the procedure, and then I don't know how much later after that they do like a sperm count. But I felt like this for years in terms of like not wanting to have children. The world's way too fucked up. I'm too fucked up, dude. And then for me to feel like I'll find somebody, like a partner that I'll be happy to raise a child with, and we're compatible. I've just seen the situation play out way too many times where there's two people who hate each other and they have to raise a child together. I've had sex with girls and I have come inside of them, and I spent time just worrying about like, fuck, I can't have a fucking kid with this girl, dude. I've never had to be put in the position where I had to talk a girl into an abortion or anything like that, which I'm grateful for. But I just think about that, man. I had the thought maybe a couple months ago, like the girl that I lost my virginity to. Like I remember I came inside her one time. I think it was like the last time we ever had sex. And I was like, bro, if she had a kid, our child would be 8 years old right now. Or 9 years old. I'd have a 9-year-old kid right now. That's wild for me to think. And I'm sure I'd love them and I'd appreciate them. And I know there's parents who are, they're like, oh no, like having kids is such a blessing. And I know there's good to it. But I don't want to make that commitment, bro. Knowing me, I'd want to back out. And like for me to think like, damn, I not only would I have that like that 9-year-old child, but like I would still be tied to that girl, bro. And I would be tied to her for the rest of my life, having to interact with her. And that would just be a fucking tragedy, dude. And that happened again with this other girl that I had sex with. I was like, bro, and she ended up having a kid, like, she had sex with someone a couple months after me, and ended up having a kid with that person. And I'm like, fuck. And that would have been even worse than a girl that I lost my virginity to. Let me do the math. Let's see. I think I'd have a 7-year-old right now, 6 or 7-year-old with that chick, if she ended up having a kid with me. And just to be like, and the frustration that I had just interacting with her. After sex was like, oh my gosh. It feels like I'm trying to move a fucking pyramid block. Like, this is fucking difficult. And it's like, I don't want to give that to something. I don't want to give, like, you gotta think about that, man. My relationship with that person is gonna permeate to the child, bro. And I wouldn't be able to raise a child how I would want to. I don't think I'd ever feel ready. I'm human, man. Anyway, I'm just gonna enjoy this piece out here. Just gonna do some more thinking as well. All right, I'm about to go to the doctor's office right now. I got a little checkup that I gotta do, and I've just been thinking a lot, man. Like last night, I was thinking about my book in terms of like what purpose does my book serve for me. And you know what, I think it serves several purposes, and I think more is going to be revealed to me as I move through life. One thing that came to me last night was my book holds me accountable to be who it is that I am fully, at my fullest. To be myself unapologetically. Because, yeah, the title is powerful, but not just that, but when you read my book, it's obvious that I did not hold back whatsoever, and I expressed myself to my absolute fucking max. And it's been very healing to have that as a backbone for me. It gives me permission. It's fucking beautiful, man. I'm very grateful for it. So I went on the hike today and I was just doing a lot of thinking, just feeling down. And I have been listening to Rick Rubin's podcast, Tetragrammaton. It's my favorite podcast right now, because what Rick Rubin does is he just interviews a bunch of artists. And because Rick is very well connected in the music industry and was very successful in the music industry, he has access to guests that other people don't have access to. And I don't know why, but for some reason I decided to listen to the podcast episode that Rick Rubin did with Gerard Carmichael. It's the second interview he ever did on his podcast. I think I wanted to listen to, because I'm getting back into stand-up, and I wanted to listen to a comedian, and I wanted to hear someone talk about their creative process and what that's like. And Rick Rubin's the guy to do it. I like it because there's no politics. It's all about art. And it's a great podcast. It's my favorite podcast right now. So I started listening to it, and one thing I really fucking appreciated was Gerard's authenticity and how real he was and how much he was himself. And I thought it was a weird, duo at first, in terms of when I first saw Gerard Carmichael got interviewed by Rick Rubin. I'm like, that's random. I didn't have any interest in it. But then, going into stand-up, I decided to listen. And let me tell you something, man. I am so fucking glad that I did. Gerard speaks to me in a way that I did not expect someone to be able to speak to me and get through to me. And Rick Rubin was talking about Gerard's stand-up specials on HBO, and he talked about Gerard's stand-up special called 8. And Rick had pointed out that that special was very creative and it was different than other stand-up specials. And he said, you think about stand-up specials, they're typically, it's a pretty narrow thing in terms of like, it's kind of hard to be innovative and to do them differently than others, right? It's kind of hard to make them stand out, but Rick said that 8 stood out to him in terms of its uniqueness and how he did it. So I was like, I'm gonna go give this a watch. And man, am I fucking happy that I did. Oh my gosh, that stand-up special was so fucking good. I mean, I laughed. I just felt like he just fucking understood me, man. I felt like he understood me. And I'm so grateful that he expressed himself to his fullest and he was being who it is that he is. And then his other stand-up special called Nathaniel. Oh my gosh, you want to talk about a motherfucking stand-up special that's real, bro? That's real. Dude, it is so fucking good. It's a fucking masterpiece, dude. If you don't have HBO Max, get HBO today. It's like $7 or some shit like that, or $15. It's really cheap. And watch those 2 stand-up specials. Oh my goodness. So I returned back to the podcast after watching those 2 specials, and let me tell you, like, watching Nathaniel, because he is so fucking real and he's so honest about his life, about his family, and it's a unique stand-up special, and it was completely different than the one before that he did. Wow. That's all I can say is just wow. So I'm listening to the podcast again today, and Gerard talks about how he had read this book called A Swim in the Lake in the Pond by George Saunders. I think that's what it was called. It's like these Russian stories. And Gerard said that book completely changed his life when it came to storytelling. And it got me thinking. I've been thinking a lot about what's the next steps for me. And I've been thinking a lot about the word leverage. How can I leverage my skills? How can I leverage my knowledge? How can I leverage my connections? How can I leverage social media? How can I leverage stand up, my book? How can I leverage as much as I possibly can to get me to where it is that I want to go? Well, one thing that I'm really fucking good at is my ability to tell stories. And I think it was Plato that said this. It was either Plato or Aristotle. Those who tell the stories rule society. And as human beings, let me tell you something. I went to this conference 2 years ago. It was a Mind Valley conference. And it's a 3-week long event, and me and a friend, we went there for the last week of the event. And they have all kinds of speakers. They have different rooms, and all week long we're hearing about this guy named Eric Edmeades, and he's going to give a speech all about public speaking. And me and my friend just came back from Canada giving a speech to a bunch of dentists, and it was our first paid public speaking gig, and that's what made me an international paid public speaker. And we wanted to go all in on getting on stages and speaking. And Eric Edmeades, his whole thing was about how to be a great public speaker. And you know what he did? He went on stage and he just told story after story after story, and he was the best fucking speaker of the entire event. He was only scheduled for 4 hours over the course of 2 different sessions. He ended up doing a total of 6 hours over the course of 3 different sessions. And he blew us out of the water. And that was when me and my friend understood the power of stories. And I remember I went to this mastermind one time for 7, 8, 9-figure entrepreneurs, and I met this guy who said that his wife had paid for this week-long retreat that was like, oh snap. Yeah, this week-long retreat that was like $150K or something like that, with like big industry leaders and all that kind of shit. And she went into this expecting to learn techniques and tactics and strategies, but what happened was, what they did was they just told stories. And they were able to get people to go to this event, pay $100,000 to go, and they just told stories. How powerful is that, huh? But that's no surprise, right? Because Hollywood is a fucking like $100 billion fucking industry. Because we love stories. So how can I leverage stories? Okay, cool. Looks like I got a call back from the guy over at Chili's. Hold on one sec, I'm gonna call him back. Wait, as I wait, I'm like, you know what? How can I leverage stories? And I have an idea for another book. And I'm excited, man. I'm very excited about this. So we'll see. We'll see if the seed that I have in my head ends up becoming something more than it is. But I have something really cool in mind. Something really cool that I'm excited about. And that's what's important for me when it comes to the creative process, is it needs to be fun. It has to be fun. That's why people are like, hey, when are you gonna write part 2 of the Real Nigga Bible? It's not as easy as like, oh, I'm just writing it. I have to enjoy the process. I have to have fun while I do it. Because if I don't, I'm not gonna do it.
Thank you for calling Chili's. How can we help you?
Hello, my name is Greg. I'm looking for... Boom. There we go, baby. I got hired by Chili's. Just like that. I started putting out applications the other day, like 2 days ago, 3 days ago. Got an interview yesterday, got hired today. So that's really cool. And I think that's going to really help me out with the next book that I'm planning to write. And I'm actually really excited about it. So we'll see if the excitement carries me through. You know, things change all the time. The creative process is imperfect. But after this, I'm going to go down to Barnes & Noble and I'm going to get the book on storytelling. I'm going to read that in the meantime. And we'll see. Maybe I'll get some ideas. Maybe not. Maybe it'll just be a good read. I don't know. But I'm down to my last like $61. I bought this gallon of water today. By the way, look at that. I always carry a book with me. This book is like my Bible, bro. I always have it with me. Always. Just in case I get bored or I wait in line or something. So, exciting times, man. I think it's important to have money because it helps me relax, but it also helps me fuel my creative projects. Money does help fuel my creative projects. So, stories. Leveraging my greatest skill set to help me break through to the other side. And I think my book, The Real Nigga Bible, is like a really good foundation that allowed me to really be able to accept myself a lot more, to build upon it with the next iteration of whatever it is that I write. So it has served its purpose. And I need to order more free copies, man. For some reason right now, online, you can't buy a copy. I don't know why. I can't figure out why. But we'll see. I just want to be able to give out free copies and then leverage my book to build an audience so I can be able to, let's see what happens with the next one. Let's go, baby. I start my new job in 2 days. All right, boom. That's how we do it, man. It's about the journey. So, yeah, I have the idea for my next book. I actually really like it. I actually really like the premise of it. It feels good for me. And you know what, dude? It could change. It could evolve. I could completely decide to write something completely different. This idea might lead to a different one. I have no clue. But I do like the premise of it and the kind of stories that I would like to tell in this book. We'll ultimately see. About to go to Barnes & Noble to get the George Saunders book. Actually, I should call them, dude, because you know how many times I've gone to fucking Barnes & Noble and they're like, oh, sorry, we can't find it. Oh my gosh, what a waste of gas. So let me go ahead and do that. And in the meantime,
Barnes & Noble. We are located at Citrus Plaza Shopping Center, 27460 Lagonia Avenue, Redlands, California 92274. We are open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day. Our
what
Sunday
else?
Easter hours
I was
are
about to
11
say something.
a.m. to
Oh,
8 p.m.
I want to get better.
To speak to a bookseller, please stay on the line.
Not only at just like telling stories, because I think I'm good at telling stories, but I definitely think I can be better. Hello, I am looking for a book by George Saunders called A Swim in a Pond in the Rain.
Swim in a pond in the rain.
Yes.
All right, give me 1 second.
Thank you. Okay, so I don't know if this music is copyrighted. yeah, I also want to be a better story like liver, right? For these videos that I make. Like, I want to live more epic stories so you can be along there with me. I tell stories on my channel and they're epic and they're fun and they're cool, but I also want you to be there with me. Like, I want you to experience them with me and be like, dude, did you fucking see that? That's crazy. And like, we get to live it together as if you were with me the whole time. So I want to get better at stories in that way as well. So that's what I'm thinking of. I want to use what it is that I'm really good at, and I happen to be good at something very lucrative, and it's like, you know what, let's just fucking tunnel in on this and let's fucking make this happen. So I hope she finds it so I can be able to go pick it up, and I'm gonna do some reading tonight and have some fun. All right, I'm glad that I called because I was about to drive over there and they couldn't find it. So I went down to another Barnes & Noble to get myself a copy of the book. I'm excited, man. I read maybe 1 to 2 pages and I just knew that this book is for me, because I am a writer and I am a storyteller, especially with the nature of the next book that I want to write. I want it to be story based, you know. I want it to be all about fucking story, and I want this to be told as best as I can fucking tell it, man. This is my life's work, you know. If I'm gonna do something, especially when it comes to storytelling, I want to do my absolute best. And I feel like I'm very blessed that I came from a family that tells a lot of stories. My mom, my dad, you know, my older sister, my older brother, and then my niece. Oh my gosh, the niece that I write about in the Real Nigga Bible, fuck, I mean, god damn, bro, you want to talk about a motherfucking storyteller, bro? She is like, how the fuck is she so fucking good at it, dude? I tell her, I'm like, yo, you need to, I can't wait to, I don't say you need to, but I've told her before, I said, I can't wait to see like how you utilize that skill and whatever it is you decide to do. Storytelling is a very powerful skill, man. It's a very powerful skill. And it just happens to be the skill that I think I just happen to be very great at naturally because of my upbringing. This is dope, man. I'm so excited, dude. This is what I'm talking about. Just the excitement to create, you know, to fucking study, to learn, to immerse myself in a process for me to just be so fucking filled up by just a little private journey that I go on. Even though I document my journey and I share it on YouTube, I still feel like this is my private journey because I'm not really like hanging out with anybody. It's mostly just me going about my life and figuring things out and taking things as I go. But this book, it seems like it's like specifically when it like about storytelling for writers. Very specific, and the author takes stories from 4 different Russian novelists and breaks it down. And I heard about this from Gerard Carmichael. He said that this book changed how he tells stories. And I'm hoping for the same, man. dude, I even have my first mentor, phenomenal storyteller, and his daughter. Oh my gosh, next level, top notch fucking storyteller, man. I've gained such an education in storytelling, and then over the past several weeks, just going to just so many comedy shows, and just being able just to be there and just be like, oh my gosh, it's amazing how fucking good they are on stage talking about just the most menial things, and you're like, how are you so compelling? How are you so good at telling that story? So yeah, I wanna get better. I wanna work on my craft a lot more. So yeah, I'm on my way home, and I can't wait to just spend my evening reading as this video renders, and then I, get it prepared to post on YouTube. But yeah, man, fucking great day, dude. 2 days ago, I was stressed the fuck out. I was unemployed, and I made the decision. I was in my backyard. I was talking to my younger sister, and she works a government job, and I was like, how long does it take to get hired? I'm like, man, I said, I need something quick. I need to get hired fast. So I started applying, and then I scheduled an interview for Chili's. Got interviewed the next day, which was yesterday. Got the call today. Boom. Got fucking hired in 48 hours, and then I start in 2 days. Talk about a turnaround, man. So I think restaurants are great, man. You want to get hired fast, and you want to make some okay money, especially me as a single person, no kids, my expenses are low. Restaurant is really fucking good for me, where it is that I'm at in my life. Yes, sir. Woo! Oh man, I'm so fucking grateful, man. I'm so grateful. And this is the journey, man. It's fucking just problem solving, and there's stress, and there's excitement, and it's like, yes, there's little openings, and you're just like, I'm so grateful for the stress afterwards when you have the fucking realizations, and you're put on a trajectory that you like to be on, but you gotta, man, it's hard to weather those fucking storms, man. Fucking Monday night, just 3 nights ago, man, just up at 1:30 in the morning, stressed out of my fucking mind, and I'm just like so fucking like frustrated because I want to go to bed, but I'm like, what do I do? I'm fucking stressed out. Hey, what is it that when why is it that we know sometimes when people are looking at us? I just look to my left, and the guy in the car is like trying to see who this is, like in this car. But I never will look, usually don't look to my left and right. But then how did I think to look over to my left, and he was already looking at me? Isn't that weird? We just have this feeling that we know we're being watched or something. Yeah, anyway. And then to wake up on Tuesday, the next day, and just still be stressed out of my fucking mind. Man, those aren't pleasant times, man. But what comes from them is just awesomeness. And it's weird, man, because I would have never guessed that I'd work at Chili's. It's not like I'm particularly fuck yeah, dude, I'm working at Chili's. Dude, Chili's is I don't know. I'm not passionate about it. It's all right, cool. This is a good placeholder as I work on my next project. And I'm gonna fucking figure it out as I go, man. I'm going to fucking figure it out. and I'm gonna take you along with me. Let's have some fun.